Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm talking about US Canadian relationship between 2026 to 2116, which means I'm talking about the next 90 years, what's going to happen between these two countries. And I know for some people this video might be a little bit overwhelming for you to watch, to listen to. So I decided to do a conclusion, sort of like a small conclusion at the beginning part of this video. And and then I'll dive deeper to the Celtic spreads. So for these three cards, each card represents 30 years. And one interesting thing that I would like you to focus on is the duplicate cards that appear more than once in this entire video. And right now, I'll focus on the duplication first before we dive deeper to the Celtic spread. I did three Celtic spread, and each Celtic spread represents 30 year period. So which means right now we see the devil as the first card. The devil is actually representing the general situation that is being represented in the first Celtic spread. And then the emperor is representing the general situation represented by the second Celtic spread, and so on. So from the year of 2026 to 2056, we have the devil card. The devil is about limitation. It is about manipulation. It is also about addiction. So there is some kind of addictive situation that is very prominent in between these two countries, which is not healthy. And then the year of 2057 to 2087, there's the emperor energy. What is emperor? When we talk about emperor, we think about the government, the power. So in between 2057 to 2087, we can expect a strong government presence in between these two countries. That can be a person who is in power, and this person is actually can be very controlling in the situation. And it's very interesting because we are talking about two countries. But when the emperor is appearing in this situation, that means one person or one powerful center is actually affecting both countries. So somehow the relationship between these two countries in the between the year of 2057 to 2087, they can be the relationship can be based on control, government, and I strongly feel like that they will be under the same government system somehow. A very centralized power position that can affect these two countries at the same time. If they're not having the same government, they might have something that um, that they are just under the same category or same situation, um, which people from both countries they have to follow, because the emperor is one person, one power. It is a singular. Um, so which can be there is a positive side, because we're progressing from the devil energy to the emperor energy. So things can go, how can I explain? When we talk about the devil, it is about addiction, manipulation. But when the emperor steps in, the emperor, the positive side of the emperor is about being fair, being someone who is having the power to be the authority. Comparing to the devil is just simply manipulation. We want this, we want that. We are not allowing you to do this, do that. It's a power struggle. But when we step into the emperor power, um, the manipulation has to be gone in order for someone to be in an authoritative position, which is good for the collective, but not simply manipulating the situation. So this is the good side. Um, but some people might be frightened, like, why are we under the same umbrella right now? Like, not everybody's gonna be happy about it, obviously, and I will tell you why in the Celtic spread. And in the year of 2088 to 2118, there will be the Knight of Cups energy. Knight of Cups energy is about being on a quest to seek for higher knowledge, a higher goal for everyone. Um, the Knight of Cups energy is about, sometimes we talk about romance. Um, one one thing I can think about right now is the period of Renaissance. You know, in the period of Renaissance, people are very artistic, and they were having a very spiritual goal to achieve, which is not always practical. But we're doing it no matter what, because we believe that we believe the love we have for such matter. So we're gonna try this, try that to manifest whatever we want to manifest, whatever we love to manifest. Um, so in the next 90 years, we're seeing a very manipulative power. It will transcend into hopefully a more reputable, authoritative power or governance. And then people will have a sense of enlightenment. So the people in these two countries, they will experience the manipulation, the limitation, and then uh, things will be needed to be under control. And the people among these two countries will follow a trend that is not only for one country, but for both countries. Um, Something will come to the same direction. And then these two countries will have a similar goal to go from there. And they will together going towards a direction that is about a common goal and the spiritual beliefs. Yeah, but anyway, I have a feeling that even though right now these two countries are not really in harmony because there are lots of limitations, restrictions, and manipulations. But I do think it is a process that will get better in the long run. Okay. So let's talk about the Celtic spread. The year of 2026 to 2056. In these 30 years, at the beginning, we have the Emperor energy, which is about someone who really wants to be in control. Like in these two countries, at least there is one person in this relationship wants to be in power, wants to be controlling, wants to be able to control the relationship between these two countries. Um, and I think it is very obvious. Um, I think for Canadians, a lot of Canadians would think, oh, definitely, that's from the U.S. Um, they just want to control us. However, I also need to say we don't know for sure. Um, and we can't always use our personal perception to perceive one thing. I know I'm kind of being kind of vague, but I have a feeling that it is more than one person. Um, the control, even though a lot of people would think, oh, it is the United States, but um, I don't think it is that simple. It can be a source of power, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's the US. Even though a lot of people would think, oh, that's the US, definitely. But um, there's more than that. So currently we have the Temperance card. The Temperance card is about compromise, is about experimenting. There's kind of an experimenting process that is happening in between the US and Canada. And one thing that comes to my mind is Alberta, because Alberta is going to have a referendum somehow. Um, and there might be different parts of Canada or maybe the US. They sort of want to figure out if they can collaborate somehow on a deeper level in order to get what they want. And this Temperance card, it's very interesting because this Temperance card is appearing in the last card of the third Celtic spread, which is by the end of 2118, this temperance will be achieved. So we're talking about something that in between these two countries, they put a lot of thought into this compromise, into this experiment, and it is at the beginning stage, and it's gonna take at least 90 years to manifest. And I already know that this temperance, it is the same thing. This temperance at the beginning of this Celtic spread is the same as the last card of the third Celtic spread. They are actually the same thing. So right now I'm gonna use my astrological cards to tap into this temperance energy. What is it about? Okay, so it is about the 6th house, 3rd house, and the 7th house. Okay, 6th house, we're talking about jobs. We're talking about the daily routines, our habits. The third house is about short distance travel, communications. It is about the day-to-day routine and partnerships. So as we know, the US and Canada, they are close to each other geographically. And this temperance situation is about getting even closer. The work, the routines, and the communications, people traveling short distance. So I do think that the temperance card is about the collaboration between two countries, the employment, and the communications. Definitely, it is about a deeper partnerships. And because the third house and 6th house, there is a very strong feeling of day-to-day routine. So somehow there is a closeness that these two countries are trying to form. Like even though the devil energy is present, like people can feel like oppressed because of each other, they're still trying to get together somehow. Okay. So the Queen of Swords energy crossing the Temperance card, definitely there is someone, probably a prominent female figure, does not want this to happen. Like this person doesn't want close partnership between these two countries. Because this person is very bitter about partnerships. So this Queen of Swords, what is this Queen of Swords about? Okay. This Queen of Swords is about the 1st house and the 8th house. Okay. So there is a person who is very influential in between US and Canada, and However, this person has a lot of secrets, and they they are trying to go the other way, which is not about partnership and collaborations. And this person, I think they have they have an interest in other countries other than these two countries. So that's why they're trying to block the collaboration between the US and Canada. And yeah, so I do think that there is actually an intention to be close to each other, but someone is not allowing that. I'm thinking I one thing that comes to my mind is Mexico, because Mexico has a female president, right? Or the PM, whatever. But they do have um, a powerful female as the authority. So this can be the North American alliance that is lingering and possibly actually blocking some of the collaborations that US and Canada want to achieve, because there is the third wheel. So they cannot, just do it that way. Um, and then at the bottom of this spread, it is the Ten of Wands energy. Okay, the Ten of Wands energy is about pressure. Definitely, there's a lot of pressure between these two countries right now. Um, but then from the US, it will be like, oh, we're feeling so pressured to support you in certain ways. And then from Canada, they'll be like, oh, we're so pressured that you're treating us like that. So even the Ten of Wands, we only see one person carrying all the stakes, but um, it can mean similar feelings from both sides. Uh, it's just about pressure and feeling difficult, feeling burdened. At the top of this spread, it is about the Seven of Pentacles energy. So people are looking back, um, you know, in the next 30 years, people will keep looking back and keep reviewing the relationship between these two countries. Like what things are being built by these two countries so far. And however, whenever we see Seven of Pentacles, that means we need to review the progress. We need to appreciate, be grateful about the progress we made together. Um, and we also need to think about what's gonna be the future between these two countries. The Queen of Cups energy that will come through is about being emotionally sensitive towards each other. Um, I do think that the people in these two countries, at some point in the next 30 years, they will start to be more emotionally available to each other, and to understand each other more. Because these two countries are trying to make compromises, even though it's not going to be immediate, but that's the direction. However, the devil energy at the bottom of this spread is telling us that there are limitations. And when I see the devil energy, I can immediately think about that's the US, Canada, Mexico situation. And I think there are problems that are related to Mexico, and which actually is actually making it difficult for the US and Canada to getting closer to each other, because there are obligations and there are incompatibilities between Mexico and the US and the Canada situation. The Eight of Wands energy after the devil, I do see that there will be an event or multiple events that will happen very quickly. Very quickly. So these two countries, Canada and the US, they have to come together and compromise with each other, because this is, the Two of Swords energy is about making peace with the situation. So I think that there are limitations in the next 30 years, and there are definitely manipulations, power struggles. But then because of an event that will unfold, all the restrictions have to be settled at one point relatively quickly. And then the sun will come out. Clarity will come out. So right now, let us go back to the beginning. As we see, the devil energy is prominent between the year of 2026 to 2056. It is appearing at the first Celtic spread, the bottom. And then we also seeing the Emperor energy at the beginning of the first Celtic spread. So which means that from the year of 2026 to 2056, there will be, as usual, the power struggle and the idea of being under the same government, being under the same authority figure. It's gonna be unfolding in the next 30 years. And because from the year of 2057 to 2087, we do have the Emperor card. So what I'm thinking is, in the next 30 years, it will take at least 30 years for the Emperor energy to manifest between these two countries. So whoever has expressed the intention to put two countries under the similar governance situation, whoever expressed that before, it will be manifesting in the next 30 years, but it's not immediate, but somehow it will happen from the year of 2057 onwards. Okay. So right now, let us talk about the year of 2057 to the year of 2087. These 30 years, which is about the Emperor energy. So at first, we do see Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles energy is about someone who is just taking care of themselves and being independent. You know, Queen of Pentacles, they have the boundaries, very clear boundaries, and they don't want to bother and they don't want to be bothered. And in the current position, there is the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups energy is about seeking to manifest a quest. It is also about invitations. So in between Canada and the US, in these 30 years, from the year of 2057 to 2087, it looks like that there will be the invitation to sort of dismantle the barriers between each other. But the Nine of Wands energy is crossing it. So someone who is wounded, and this can actually be helping or on the opposite, maybe not helping the relationship between the US and Canada. Eight of Wands. Okay. So this is interesting because we did see Eight of Wands from the year of 2026 to 2056. So there will be something that will happen very quickly, and this will linger into the year of 2057 onwards. So what is this Eight of Wands energy? Okay. So this Eight of Wands energy is about third house communications, seventh house partnerships. Okay. Okay, so there will be a partnership that will fall apart. And somehow I think this will be the partnership with, you know, in this three countries situation. One country is clearly not really compatible with the other two. So so somehow between the year of 2057 to 2087, the three countries alliance, definitely one of them will, you know, okay, we're done with it. We are done with it, and we want to be out quickly, as soon as possible. Let me see, which country is this? Okay, who wants to be out? The U.S., Canada, Mexico. Oh. Okay. So for the US, I got the Hangman. For Canada, I see the Death, transformation, and then for For Mexico, it's Knight of Wands. Um, so from the year of 2057 to 2087, I do think that the U.S. um, will release the old patterns about this relationship with the other countries. I mean, with Mexico and Canada, and Canada will go through a transformational situation. Um, and then the Knight of Wands energy, being a minor arcana, I would think the dismantle of partnerships among these three countries is related to something really huge that is happening in the US and Canada. But the impact is relatively less for Mexico. Hmm. And and somehow the dismantling of this uh, partnership among these three countries will actually bring happiness because I get the Ten of Cups. I'm talking about the cards I have in my hands right now. So I yeah I'm not planning to take that photo and upload it. But anyway, um, yeah. So Eight of Swords energy at the top part of this spread. It is about interference. It is about the fear. Um, so something happens between Canada and the US. Uh, People will feel fearful about the situation. What is this Eight of Swords energy? I feel like it's like an outlier in this spread. Okay. Okay, it is about third house and seventh house. Okay. It is about communications and partnerships and our immediate environment. Hmm. So people are feeling uncertain about in between the US and Canada. There is the huge uncertainties about the day-to-day routines, um, the partnerships between two countries. Like people would think, oh, how can we sort this out? Um, but anyway, um, let's move forward. The Seven of Cups energy at the bottom means that there will be things up in the air. Um, there are lots of thinking in between these two countries. Like people keep thinking about what will happen, what will happen, um, what can we do to manifest a better future. And then Five of Swords after Seven of Cups, it is about you know the, a failing partnership. Um, I do believe that it is the partnership between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. Like they're not gonna want to continue because um, in the Five of Swords, we see that there are two other person walking away from one person. So it looks like the US and Canada is walking away from the partnership with Mexico because they have things going on that are different from Mexico. So the increasing incompatibilities will lead to the end of the partnership. And then Five of Wands energy after the Five of Swords. Um, there will be struggles after the dismantling of the partnerships among these three countries. And um, it will be kind of contentious in these 30 years for both the US and Canada. I think there will be some kind of struggle, and there are lots of things happening, um, and people are trying to figure out how to be with each other in a way that is good for everyone. But it's gonna be not easy because I do believe that there's an integration happening geographically. It's gonna be different from now. Um, and I also see people moving. A lot of people will move because they feel like they're calling they're calling their higher self is telling them, okay, we have to move, blah blah blah. The Ten of Wands energy at the last card of this spread, it is about moving. It is about the burden. So in general, I would say from the year of 2057 to the year of 2087, even though the Emperor energy is present for these 30 years, in between Canada and the US, it's not going to be easy because um, the people in these two countries, they have to face a new reality about government. And this new authority authoritative power, it's gonna be a brand new thing for the people of these two countries, um, because of the need to adapt to the new circumstances. People are gonna feel like overwhelmed, and it can be very contentious at times because everybody is trying to um, manifest their beliefs and their callings. Um, I do believe that even though it will be very contentious, but um, the people in the US and in Canada, they will actually interact with each other more, uh, because the relationship dynamics is very intense. Uh, I do feel like there are people who disagree and they will leave the situation. Um, but I also see a lot of people that are coming together and try to make something work. And it will be a lot of fast and quick events that will happen in between the US and Canada. Okay. Okay. So now let's talk about the year of 2088 to 2118. In these 30 years, we begin with the Empress energy. So Empress is about nurturing. Um, Empress is also about giving birth to something. So in between the US and Canada, something new uh, was being born between these two countries. And it looks like the struggles that happened between these two countries, um, it will bring something very fruitful, and it will um, give birth to a baby. A baby can be, it can be the identity. Um, it can be the self. So this can be a new identity was being born between these two countries. Nine of Pentacles at the current position. That means the hard work has led to the fruitful harvest. Hmm. And the hangman crossing it. The hangman, I drew the hangman for the US earlier when I was reading about these three countries, Canada, US, Mexico. And the hangman is represented by the US. So somehow I feel like the US will let go of some of um, will release some of the power in this relationship. They will have a new perspective about the relationship with Canada. Um, Even though they feel like they have the need to, sacrifice something in order to make things work, the US is, it's okay for them to let go of some of the things that they have. Um, so what I can think about is, because of the collaborations between these two countries and the compromises that will be made, um, the U.S. will no longer um, they won't be they won't be manipulated by their beliefs anymore. Like, they will let go of some of the negative beliefs in power struggles, um, in order to have a compromise with Canada. Um, and at the bottom of this spread is the Five of Wands energy. So, Five of Wands energy, it actually appears earlier. Um, the last spread from 2057 to the 2087. The conflicts will be ongoing, but then it doesn't mean all bad, because people are coming together to express their feelings and to sort things out creatively. Um, Six of Pentacles on the top of this spread means that someone is being generous in helping the situation. It's kind of interesting. I would like to know the Six of Pentacles. Is it the U.S. or is it Canada or something else? Okay. It's kind of funny because it looks like there is something coming from the outside of the US and Canada, and an external force is coming to to step into this situation and bring some changes. Okay, so is this Six of Pentacles? Is it a country other than the US and Canada, or something else? Huh. Okay, so there will be a situation where the help will come through from a third country. What is the Six of Pentacles energy? Okay, it is about the 10th house and 9th house. Okay. It's really interesting. I feel like there will be a third government that is coming through to help the US and Canada, to get through some hurdles. And I wonder if this. Okay, let's see. Is this Six of Pentacles energy coming from the west side of North America, or the east, or somewhere else? Okay, Six of Pentacles. Is it from east? Okay. Okay, the Six of Pentacles is coming from transatlantic. It's from the Europe. How come that can be? But anyway, so somewhere in the Europe, or maybe the UK, there will be a government from that side. I'm talking about the east of North America, so Europe in general. They will sort of get involved in between the relationship of Canada and the US, and they will try to help with the situation. Nine of Swords energy, though, it is about the worries that will be happening in between US and Canada. So what is the worry? Okay, so the worry is about third house, seventh house, and second house. Okay, it's about short distance travel, partnerships, and the money, and the beliefs. Okay, so there will be the struggle. It can be cultural struggle, because of the close partnerships. That I do believe that there will be the bond between the US and Canada will get closer, but the problem is the belief system is different, and the way of doing things, the day-to-day routines, um, and and the beliefs that the people have towards money, towards earnings, um, is about the ideological differences between these two countries that will actually make people feel worried and not happy. Yeah, and I do think people um, will have a lot of debates about their values, and sometimes these debates are not helping each other but creates more worries among people. uh, like people will keep thinking about whether we are compatible with each other or not. Are we doing fine with each other, something like that. The moon energy at the bottom of this spread is about instability, something that is unknown. So what is the moon energy? Okay, the moon energy is about the fifth house and the fourth house. Okay, fifth house is about love, passion, babies, having family. Fifth house, fourth house. And then the moon card is, I think there will be a situation involves borders. But the border has, we don't, somehow some of the borders between the US and Canada will be strike down, and somehow they will create things or even babies that will have both Canadian and American identities. It can be that way. Um, but then there will be the hurdles of, you know, being fair or not, the justice energy. Um, so for the U.S. and Canada, they will feel like they have the need to have less boundaries with each other, but at the same time, they are very worried about the incompatibilities between each other. Somehow they will use the legal way, the legal system to fix the issue. Um, there will be, a lot of pressure, but at the end, they will come together uh, in order to have a compromise. Because, as I mentioned earlier, the temperance card, again, at the end of the day, two countries will come together and and have a compromise with each other, so they can move beyond the problems and get to the other side. So in general, I would say in the next 90 years, in the first 30 years from now, US and Canada will still be limited, and uh, their relationship will still be limited because there are partnerships and obligations that are limiting each other's involvement in the situation. So there will be power struggles in the next 30 years. But something that these two countries are thinking about, being closer to each other will um, somehow it will manifest after the next 30 years, into the next 60 years. I do believe that I have a feeling that the government, there might be a new government that will be formed, and somehow these two countries are under that particular government or governance. Um, I believe that these two countries, they have talked about it before, not too long ago. Like can they somehow merge in certain ways? And I do think it will happen. It's not going to be immediate, but in the next 60 years, certain parts of these two countries, they at least certain parts, they will be under the same government. And it's not going to be easy. There will be a lot of struggles. Um, and to a point where we will see other countries, transatlantic countries, they will come and help to sort out these differences, and the struggles that happened between these two countries. I believe that the Europeans, they will bring in some kind of knowledge, and they will help the US and Canada to, work with each other. And I believe that there will be things that at that point, the Europe side, they will have something that North America doesn't have. And then they will come and help and, be generous somehow. Um, but the good thing is, at the end of the day, I do believe that there is a very strong bond between the U.S. and Canada, even though it doesn't always seem to be a healthy one. But I do believe that it is progressing towards a more healthy situation in the next 90 years. There will definitely be fluctuations and reconfigurations between these two countries. Um, but I do believe that people will come together and work with each other, which is a good thing. Um, and I'm sorry that if this video is a little bit scattered, because I haven't been doing long videos for a very long time, and because of a lot of reasons. Um, I really appreciate the time you spent with me, listening to me, watching this video. I hope it is not so boring. If you're interested to share some thoughts about this matter, feel free to leave that in a comment section. And if you feel like you want me to read something, let me know. I'll do it when I'm available. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye bye.